So GameStop is back in the news again, and it is bad news. They're having more troubles, and this was revealed during their Q2 earnings call. So during the Q2 earnings call, the CFO, James Bell, went over some numbers, as they obviously do, and they announced that they are closing 180 to 200 underperforming stores globally, and this will be between now and the end of the year. So by 2020, 180 and 200 GameStops will be closed globally. Now, apparently they have 5,700 stores and 95% of them are profitable, but they will continue to close stores between now and the end of the year. And then in the next 2 years going forward, they're going to continue to close more and more stores around the world. So where I am in Canada, it would be EB Games that are closing down. Now, here is what James Bell had to say about this. Well, that is an impressive statistic. We have a clear opportunity to improve our overall profitability by de-densifying our chain. That work is well underway. We are on track to close between 180 and 200 underperforming stores globally by the end of this fiscal year. And while these closures were more opportunistic, we are applying a more definitive analytic approach, including profit levels and sales transferability, that we expect will yield a much larger tranche of closures over the coming 12 to 24 months. So, I mean, this is just a lot of business jargon, and pretty much what he's saying is they're not making enough money, and they don't have enough money to be able to support all the stores that they have open, so they need to close down stores. That being said, they're obviously going to try and reduce the amount of money they have to pay for these brick and mortar stores, change the way that they do business, and try to increase their profitability. Now, in this meeting, they also went on to talk about alternatives for unprofitable business segments. So obviously things within GameStop that aren't selling well, they're going to look for ways to either change these up, get rid of them, or add different things that will be profitable. Now, who knows what that means? Obviously, we're moving away from the age of physical media and we're going all digital. So who knows? Maybe GameStop is going to try to jump into some sort of subscription-based service where you're going to be able to get certain games every single month or something like that, something like the Xbox Game Pass. I wouldn't be surprised if GameStop tries to launch something like this, maybe try to undercut Xbox Game Pass, which I think will be very hard to do, especially with the quality content you get for the price. On top of that, they also said they don't expect to see an increase in profit anytime soon in the next few months or so, because it is the end of the current console generation, and that since this is dwindling, the new consoles will be coming out, and obviously the slate of games when a new console is released is a lot less than when it's deep into its life cycle. Now, all that being said, the stock price dropped a lot. I mean, it didn't drop that 40% that it did, I think it was a couple of weeks or a few months ago or whatever, when they really announced that they weren't doing well. But it dropped around 14%, I believe, 14 to 20%, somewhere in that range. It has dropped a decent amount, and it's not looking good for GameStop. They still have a chance. I mean, their stock is back up to around $5. With all things considered, it fell down to about, I think it was like $3 or $4 per share, which is still insane for a stock that was once valued at about $40 per share. All of this news coming out, GameStop is saying is a part of their rebranding or the regeneration that they're trying to do that they've announced, where they're really trying to change their business, make GameStop into a more social or / cultural hub for gaming, and become more digital. Now, me personally, where I live, I have a bunch of EB games around me, and I have to say I haven't really had any bad experiences with EB games. And I don't know if this is exclusive to Canada, because I've heard so many horror stories about GameStop, but most of them come from the United States. And my EB games, generally when I go in, the majority of the time I'm met with really nice employees, very helpful. They're not really pushing anything on me. They ask me maybe if I want to pre-order any upcoming games. I say no, and they don't continue to push me. I've had no real bad experiences with EB games. So if I start to see a lot of the stores around me start to close in the next coming years, I will be a little bit sad, because just going into those stores is fun. You get to look at all the games, you get to see what used stuff they have, even though they're used games and everything, and their trade values I think are really bad. I don't buy too many used stuff from there. I sometimes just try to get some GameStop exclusive pre-orders on new games that I want. That is the main reason that I go to GameStop or EB Games. But in general, I haven't had any problems. I haven't had any of the horror stories that I see on YouTube videos or that people talk about on Reddit or on the internet. So to me, them closing down EB Games around me is a little bit sad. Anyways, these are just my thoughts on this. It's pretty big news, especially because they're closing stores. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you like GameStop? Did you have good experiences going there? Did you have bad experience? I would really love to hear from you. Let me know. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. It'll help me out. If you like my content, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.